Once upon a time, in the vibrant forests of West Africa, where the birds sing sweet melodies and the trees whisper old secrets, there lived a spider named Anansi. Now, Anansi was no ordinary spider. He was clever, crafty, and always had a plan. Some called him wise, others called him a trickster. But all agreed Anansi always had something up his 8 sleeves. One day, Anansi looked at the world and thought, there is too much wisdom flying around. Everybody knows something. The farmers know how to plant. The fishermen know how to catch fish. The women know how to weave baskets. And the children, even the children, know songs and stories I have never heard. So, he made up his mind to collect all the wisdom in the world and keep it for himself. He went from village to village, asking questions, collecting advice, learning tricks, and gathering stories. He stored them all in a large clay pot. It was round, brown, and smooth to the touch, the kind of pot used by elders to store palm wine or precious herbs. He gathered wisdom from the old women who told stories at night, from the hunters who knew the paths of the forest, from the rainmakers, the herbalists, even the drummers who knew how to talk with their hands. Anansi collected it all. When he was satisfied, he said, "Now, I will hide this pot where no one can find it." He decided to climb the tallest tree in the forest and tie the pot high up in the branches so that only he could access it. He woke up very early before the sun began to stretch its golden fingers across the sky. He tied the pot to his belly with a strong vine rope, grunted, and began to climb. But there was a problem. The pot kept hitting his legs and getting in the way. He would climb one branch, slip and fall, climb again, slip again. Birds watched him and chuckled. A squirrel paused mid-leap to shake its tiny head. His son, Kweku Tin, who had been watching him from a distance, called out, "Papa, why don't you tie the pot behind you instead of in front? It will be easier to climb." Anansi paused. He looked down at his son. "What did you say?" "Tie it to your back," the boy shouted again. Anansi frowned. He untied the pot and fastened it to his back. Just like that, he climbed with ease. Up and up, past thick leaves and buzzing bees until he reached the top of the tree. When he reached the top, he sat on a branch and stared at the pot. Then he looked down at his son. "All this while, I thought I had gathered all the wisdom in the world," he said, "but even you, a small boy, just taught me something I did not know." In his frustration and pride, Anansi became angry. "So, I am not the only wise one after all." He lifted the pot over his head and shouted, "If I cannot be the only one with wisdom, then let no one have it." And with that, he threw the pot to the ground. The pot shattered into pieces. Wisdom flew everywhere, into the rivers, the trees, the wind, and the hearts of people. Some of it sank into the soil, some landed on the wings of birds, and some found its way into dreams. That is why today, no one person has all the wisdom. The farmer still knows how to plant. The fisherman still knows how to fish. The weaver still weaves. The drummer still drums. And even children sometimes say things that make grown-ups pause. From the hills of Ghana to the plains of Nigeria, from the coasts of Senegal to the valleys of Uganda, bits and pieces of that wisdom live on. It's in the proverbs our grandmothers speak, in the riddles of market women, and the quiet advice of old uncles sipping palm wine under a mango tree. Anansi learned the hard way that wisdom was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to be shared, passed down, and built upon. He went back home quietly humbled. From that day on, Anansi stopped trying to keep everything to himself. He still loved stories and tricks, yes, but he became more generous with his knowledge and more willing to listen. And sometimes, just sometimes, when a breeze blows through the trees and you hear whispers in the leaves, it might just be the scattered pieces of Anansi's pot still teaching those who care to listen. So remember, no one has all the answers. We learn from each other. Even the smallest voice may carry the greatest wisdom. And that is how wisdom came to live among all people.